Hello everyone, this video will give you a plan for how to improve your cardio, whether it's for a sports event or for any test that will involve your heart reacting to exercise. In this instance, I'll be talking about training for an event, but you can still take the key principles away and involve them in your training. We need to know a few things before we start. Number 1 is when the event that we are training for is happening. 2. What kind of activities will you be doing? 3. How long is the event or bout of exercise going to be for? After you know these 3 things, you can start looking at how many days until the event you got left. The more time you have, the better you'll be prepared for that bout of exercise. In the case of having less than a month or a week, we can't expect big changes, but we can improve our results nonetheless. Activity. Moving on, we need to choose what activity are we going to do to improve our cardio. If we know what we'll be doing and have the same or similar equipment, our best choice is to stick with that. Knowing what we are training for is important. If our goal is to be able to perform intensely for a few minutes, that's what we are going to aim for. If it's general, we can be less specific and focus on what's more fun and what's realistic for you, meaning if it's easy enough to stick to and be consistent. In the case of us not having access to the same piece of equipment due to traveling or something else, there are a lot of options to choose from. You can see more than a few options here on the screen. If you don't know which one to choose, just choose the one that seems the most fun. If you are just starting out, try walking, whether outside or on a treadmill. One thing to consider is, do we have any injuries that would limit our movement or would cause pain after a longer period of exercise? If you have issues with your certain joints, you can either find activities that do not involve them or decrease the intensity and slowly build yourself up. Being without pain is our number 1 priority. Intensity. Intensity can be increased or decreased by changing the amount of effort and the amount of time an exercise is being done. The first thing we need to do is evaluate how long can we exercise for, and at what intensity. We can do that by having a benchmark test that could be anything from walking on a treadmill to cycling, to skipping rope at a given intensity. For example, getting on a stationary bike, setting the magnetic resistance to 4 and cycling at 7/10 effort level, or skipping rope for 2 minutes with a 1-minute rest time in between until you do that for 15 minutes. Again, knowing what you are required to do comes in handy, because then you can attempt to perform the task which you end up being tested at the end. After you finish the test, you can see how tired you are, and at what point you had to stop. If doing the test was easy, you can try another test on a different day and increase the time by 5 to 15 minutes or increase your effort level. After that, you have an idea of where your endurance level is at. Now that know what we are capable of, the next step is to improve what we can do. Training at a 6 to an 8 out of 10 effort level is the place to get the most beneficial results. You can track the intensity level by looking at how many beats per minute is your heart operating at. Here on the screen you can see the heart rate zones. Training at the 3rd zone will be the most beneficial for your heart and ability to use oxygen mid-exercise. Frequency. How often can you train for it? The answer is, it depends. If this is the only type of training you are doing, you can do as many times during the week as you want if you can recover well enough. Now, in the case of you having conditions or being at a certain fitness level, that will impact what's optimal for you. If you are starting out, doing 2 to 3 sessions a week at a lower intensity level will be ideal. If you are more experienced, you may increase the intensity or the amount of times you are doing cardio. There is no right or wrong in this instance, just a matter of making sure you are able to recover, stick with it, and does it interfere with other type of training you are currently doing. In the instance of you doing other types of training like resistance training, I would recommend doing it on separate days or at a different time during the day. For example, if you do resistance training 3 times a week, you can either have your cardio sessions on those days you are not resistance training or training on the same day. Fair warning, training twice during the day will be exhausting to a lot of people, especially those who are starting to train. Sticking to days where you train and having a rest day the following day is ideal. As we improve our recovery and fitness, it becomes a question of, are we training long enough or intensely enough? Factors affecting our cardio. So we got our training in place. What else can we do to improve how tired we become while exercising? The answer is to have a good lifestyle and dietary habits. Things such as sleep, diet, and supplementation all play a role in how difficult is it going to be for us. Focusing on getting good sleep, reducing the amount of processed food with high saturated fat, and getting supplements such as zinc, magnesium, vitamin D3, and lipoic acid will reduce the workload our heart experiences during exercise. If you are deprived of these habits or supplements, introducing them can make a huge difference. If you are already doing these things, introducing supplements might not cause you to feel a thing, and that is normal. These have an apparent effect whenever you are doing a heart stress test or chasing a small improvement. Things like earthy are also known to improve how thick is our blood, and thinner blood means an easier time for your heart to carry oxygen all over your body. Let's recap. You need to know when is the event or when you want to see an improvement, what activity will you be doing, and for how long are you going to be exercising. If you're training for a specific activity, practice that activity. If it's more general, just choose what's convenient or fun. Can be anything from using any piece of equipment to 20-minute heat workouts. Do a test to see where your fitness level is. Make sure your workouts are at 6 to an 8 out of 10 effort level or in the aerobic heart rate zone. Choose 2 or 3 days in the week when you are going to be doing that. If you do strength training, do it on separate days, or at a different time. If you are not improving, increase the time spent exercising during the week or slightly increasing the intensity level. Anything that reduces the strain on our heart will help us in utilizing oxygen during exercise. Having good habits comes in handy. If you found this video helpful, you can either like the video or let me know in the comments. More videos like these will be coming, so make you subscribe and hit that bell notification icon. Thanks for watching. See you around.